Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to thank Amber J for alerting me to this story. On September 8th, 2018, it was reported that the former Miss USA and Miss Universe, Chelsi Smith, died at age 45. Some sources reported she died from illness, very vague. Others said she died from liver cancer. And, years ago, if I would have heard this, I would have said, that's interesting. Dead at 45, during the time of the 45th president, Donald Trump, who began his presidency with a big controversy over Miss Universe, which he used to own. And, I might be in a room and say something like that, and people go, "Oh, Zach, that's just a coincidence." Or, "Zach, are you suggesting there's some sort of conspiracy?" Because that's the way, my life always was whenever I'd bring up these suspicious coincidences in the media. And after years of being received like that for pointing out things that do seem suspicious on the surface and being dismissed or treated like it's awkward to point out what deserves pointing out, I said, I'm going to figure out something greater here. There is something going on in this world with numbers. Because I saw there was something up with numbers in the media, especially after September 11th, 2001, a national emergency on 911. And so, anyway, I learned this language of Gematria from 2001 to the time I was about 30 years old, which was 12 years later. I was looking for the answer, and it really took me about that long to figure it out. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. In this code, the word illness happens to equal 45, Illness. And with regards to the 45th president, I want to remind you some things that I've been talking about for years with regards to him. He was announced as the 45th president-elect in the early hours of November 9th, 2016, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. In Gematria, Berlin Wall equals 45. Donald Trump, Mr. I Want to Build a Wall, announced as the president on the anniversary of the fall of the wall. His vice president is Mike Pence. In case you're new here, there's 4 base ciphers based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Mike Pence happens to sum to 45 forwards and backwards. Understand this code's from the Holy Bible. Well, it's not originally from the Holy Bible, but it's from around the same time, and it's from the same part of the world, and the Bible is full of these numerical riddles in the English translations. And the thing about Holy Bible is it's 4 letters for holy, 5 letters for Bible, and Holy Bible sums to 45 forwards and backwards in the same 2 ciphers. And the thing about Holy Bible is it's also 9 letters, and if you add 1 through 9 together, it sums to 45. The knowledge in the Holy Bible is largely Hermetic. Hermetic sums to 45 forwards and backwards. In Hermeticism, there's a law of vibration. There's 7 laws of Hermeticism. One of them is vibration. That's that everything carries a vibration, including every letter, every number, and that vibration, it has a frequency that impacts the world around us, our behavior, our psychology. So that's part of the reason for the significance of numbers and doing things ritualistically around numbers. In 2009, Donald Trump was in this commercial for Serta mattresses talking to sheep on pillars, with the numbers 9 and 11. 9 and 11 on pillars. Does it remind you of anything? Sort of like the date he was announced as the president as well, November 9th. The fall of the wall, the fall of 2 buildings. Anyway, Donald Trump in this commercial from 2009 was wearing the same suit and tie that he wore for election night. The commercial ends with him saying, "Looking good, number 9, looking good." Remember, when you add 1 through 9 together, it sums to 45. This commercial came out in 2009. The last dialogue of the commercial is this sheep right here, staring at the camera and going, "Where is your dignity?" Who's he talking to? And what kind of commercial is this to sell mattresses? The point is, it's all numerical riddle, it's all ritual. If you haven't read my book, Letters and Numbers, the chapter on Donald Trump, which is a long chapter, shows all of the predictive programming for the Trump presidency, which goes back decades. Involved numerous sitcoms, from Suddenly Susan to Fresh Prince, to talk show interviews with Oprah Winfrey, and more. Commercials such as this, Donald Trump's presidency was foretold. Him, Clinton, and the second Bush were all born in 46, and I'm sure they all knew as young children that they would serve the, puppet-in-chief president position, which we have in this country. This is not a democracy, it's a Masonic dictatorship. Freemasonry's headquarters is in Washington, D.C. George Washington was a Freemason. This code of letters and numbers is largely Masonic. So with regards to other sources saying she died from liver cancer, in 2 of the 4 base ciphers, I want you to see that liver cancer in Washington, D.C. are an overlap, 56 and 187. 187 is also associated with homicide. For other 187 in Washington, D.C., George Washington equals 187. The headquarters of Washington, D.C. has the ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry etched on the outside. In this dark blue cipher, ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry equals 187. With regards to Donald Trump, he had his GOP convention begin July 18th, 18/7, like 187, exactly a span of 187 days from Inauguration Day, which is something I called out from before the convention even beginning. I said, if Trump ends up as the president, you remember this ritual right here, the 187 ritual. Now we have Miss Universe, which Trump used to run, dead at 45 from liver cancer. 187 is just a huge number in D.C. The history of D.C., by the way, JFK was killed in the 187th year of the nation's existence in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a Freemason. JFK assassination equals 187, the way it's remembered. Right now there's the Robert Mueller investigation. Robert Mueller equals 187. Donald Trump's first Supreme Court pick, Neil McGill Gorsuch, equals 187. They compare him to Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon equals 187, and the list goes on. Her name is Chelsi Smith, and we're going to talk about why that's so interesting, just Chelsi Smith, but her full name is Chelsi Mariam Pearl Smith, and in the base cipher, sums to 137. Also like Washington, D.C., also like government, also like authority, also like White House. 137 is the 33rd prime. The word liver equals 33. They're saying she died from liver cancer. For a few more 33s, Federal's 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33. The House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in D.C., has 33 pillars on the outside, each 33 feet tall. Can there be any question who likes this number? If you want to know what it's all about, it's about the 33 vertebrae in the human spine. Freemasonry is invested in old world knowledge such as Kabbalah, which has the core belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. Also has this belief in Kundalini, which is where spiritual ascension happens up to 33 vertebrae. In this same cipher right here, that Federal, Masonry, Secrecy, and Order all sum to 33, the word people and the word person sums to 33. In the base cipher, liver cancer is also 110 like president, and this story, it's pointing right at the president. Dead at 45 in the time of the 45th president, Miss Universe, Donald Trump. So, her birthday, this woman, her birthday is August 23rd. She just turned 45 years old. She died shortly after her 45th birthday on September 8th, 2018. Just happened. 2 days ago. From her birthday to her death was 16 days later. And the reason that jumps out is because the name Chelsi Smith, in the most important of the 4 base ciphers, sums to 53. 53 is the 16th prime number. And the shape that defines a woman, the womb, which is also known as the vesica piscis. The vesica piscis is the most important shape from sacred geometry. It's the womb of the universe. It's the shape of the football as well. That's why in the NFL, 53 is such a big number. There's a 53-man roster. There's a 53-yard wide field. We're starting the season that will end with Super Bowl 53. Donald Trump is connected year after year to the NFL rituals. Last year, Donald Trump took on the NFL over the protesters on September 23rd, 23/9. I said right after that, your Super Bowl will be Patriots and Eagles because the flag was sewn in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street. 239 is the 52nd prime. It was Super Bowl 52. The Eagles, the home from Philadelphia, the home of the flag, went on to win Super Bowl 52 over the Patriots with the flag on their helmet. And there's a whole lot more to that riddle. If you pick up my book, you can learn all about it. But anyway, Vesica Pisces, the womb of the universe. Womb also sums to 53 in the base cipher. She's dead 16 days after her birthday, 53 the 16th prime. Now, the Vesica Pisces is the most important shape in sacred geometry. Geometry sums to 45. And in numerology, the most important number is 9. Again, if you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. This is where all of this comes together. Numerology, Gematria, which means geometry and language, the practice of coding numbers into words. Sacred geometry, all of this stuff is cleverly thought out in the English language. So this is what's important. If you got enough, you can turn off the video right here. Here's where I'm going to connect something that's possibly coincidental or possibly not. But I'll share it with you. She died September 8th. I said to watch out on this day for big baseball riddles. I said to look for the team that wins 5-4 or 4-5. And we got a big riddle out of the September 8th games. If you missed my work on that, check it out. It's on Gematria FX Sports. But anyway, the reason I was watching out for a big riddle on September 8th for baseball, because I understand the world of sports is scripted by this code, is because September 8th is the day leaving 114 days left in the year. This upcoming World Series is the 114th World Series. And from September 8th to the start of the World Series is 45 days. Major League equals 45. Again, when you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. Baseball's a game of 9 innings. Also, September 8th is the 251st day of the year. That's the 54th prime number. Look at baseball in the 4 base ciphers. It sums to 54 in 2 of them. There's 54 outs in a complete game. There's 162 games in a Major League Baseball season. With the dark green cipher, Major League Baseball sums to 162. When you flip the alphabetic order around and you make Z1 and count up to A as 26, baseball's 162. This is the alphabetic order. This is the reverse alphabetic order. The dark blue is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. The light blue is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So anyway, September 8th, the 251st day, the 54th prime. In history, Mark McGwire once set the home run record on that date, big baseball day. History equals 114, good day for baseball history. But we were watching out for this day for baseball riddles, and then this woman dies at 45, this huge baseball number. Always important. So, that's why I had that thought. And then I wanted to see where she was from. She's from Redwood City, which happens to sum to 57, like World Series. By the way, Scottish Rite equals 57, so does George. George Washington, the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. It's the headquarters of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry in D.C. with the 33 pillars, each 33 feet tall. Some other things jump out about her full name. Put some notes here. I don't want to confuse you and overwhelm you with numbers. In light of her being one of the only African American women and being from the United States to win Miss Universe, I just want to point out, in light of her death being blamed on cancer, that in the septenary cipher, which is not a base cipher, but it's one of the very important ciphers, African American sums to 44. Think about how Obama was number 44, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. By the way, Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, Civil Rights equals 64, Civil Rights Act in 64. He ran on Hope. Hope equals 44 and 64. They call him Barry. Barry equals 64. But anyway, Obama became the 44th president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. African American 44. If you know football history at Syracuse, all the great black running backs wore the number 44. Somebody just pointed out to me that a lot of great black basketball players at Syracuse wore the number 44 too. And this has been true at other schools as well. But African American 44 with the alphabetic order cancer, chemo, and kill, all 44. Trump's the 45th president, but he's only the 44th person to be president. Again, Grover Cleveland was number 22 and number 24, so the 25th president was the 24th person. So on. So anyway, for all my years of questioning and wondering and looking at these suspicious stories in the media, especially with numbers, I found something. I've been teaching it ever since 2013 because I think everyone deserves to know this code. And I think it really is undeniable when you learn it. And you just pay attention to what happens in the news. On the surface, the stuff's suspicious. You learn the code and you go, okay, now I see. Looking good, number 9. Same suit and tie, talking about born for the job. Where is your dignity? you know, we elected the pussy grabber. He's the pussy grabber, remember? To bring it back to the vesica piscis and the womb and, what defines a woman and her dead 16 days after her birthday and sacred geometry. If you are new here, in the description, you are more than welcome to pick up my book, 773 pages long, 10 times more brilliant than anything I showed you in this video. You'll learn the code from beginning to end, how it's been used throughout centuries of history, how it's used in the present. By the time you read the book, you'll have enough knowledge to see right through these headlines every day for the rest of your life. And honestly, you don't have to read all 773 pages. You can probably read the first 50 pages and, be light years ahead of where you are now. If this is the first time you ever heard of this, best $5 you could ever spend. It is an ebook, so you get it instantly, and you are more than welcome to print it out, and you're more than welcome to print out 1,000 copies and give them to your whole neighborhood. I would be delighted. I do this work to get out the word. A lot of people are asking me to sell the book for more than $5. I just had a doctor reach out to me and give me $250 and say it was one of the best things he ever read in his life. He can't believe I'm just charging $5 for it. The reason I'm just charging $5 is so that everyone can afford it. All right, Truth Seeker. Till next time. Encore. From Donald Trump's birthday to this woman's death September 8th was 86 days later. As I explain in my book, in the chapter Murder by Numbers, a lot of people are killed in connection to this very specific number. Blood sacrifice equals 86. You've probably heard the term 86th to get rid of. This is why. Same with that code, your number is up. You've heard that terminology before. When you learn this code, you see where it came from. Letters and numbers, it's the book to buy in the description.